Hello, I'm John Lord in February day, and what we have something very unusual in Ireland. You can actually see your shadow because that happens when the sun comes out, which is quite rare. We only normally see that in movies, but anyway, that's the sun, you know. And the young people, you have to tell them sun, that's sun, so they know. Anyway, it's great. Even what seldom is wonderful, but it's great to get it. But and I'd like to thank Sheila from America, who sent me a lovely Christmas card. And this time of the year, we're just cutting stuff back, and this is how do you learn stuff? How do you do stuff in the garden? You look at the plant. There's that one there, Lythrum. That's dead, and the new growth is there inside it. Actually, that's not the new growth. That is willow herb. But that tells you, put that one back, there we go. Okay, that's just to show you, you know that's dead, you can cut it back. This is Penstemon. Penstemon is also regarded as herbaceous, in other words, not non-woody. But you don't cut that back, but it tells you that it's still alive. So the plant is telling you, leave me alone. Look, I'm alive. Cut me back. See, so you don't even have a lot of stuff in nature is look, is the buds in it. Look at this here. That's a yew tree. Don't eat it, it will kill you. But that yew tree, if you cut it to the ground, if I cut that to the ground, it will regrow. So you should always know with a big shrub, can I cut it hard back? Most conifers you can't, but a yew you can. But a conifer is called because they're cone bearing. That's what I call conifers. And the yew is a conifer, but it has berries, so how can it be a conifer? Of course, that's the Irish yew. But anyway, oh yeah, if I wanted to, I could cut that right as tight as I possibly could, make it real pencil like the Italian cypress if I wanted to. You can do that with yews. And that's about another 500 years left in it. Oh yes, we're going to do a job on this. This is a really good. This is my favourite Pampas. We think it's Pumila, but we're never sure. But I know that's a really good one. That's going to be cut right to the ground in the beginning of April, and we're going to get this implement here. It's called a mattox, and it's like a pickaxe, but I only found out by accident. This is the important part. It's not this part here, it's this part here. It's like an axe, and unlike an axe, it doesn't get stuck when you break roots with it. It doesn't get, an axe gets stuck. This doesn't, for some reason. So obviously this wasn't being used for thousands of years before we ever had mechanical tools. But this is it. So we will put that back, and I'll get this and go through it, break it in two, and then dig it up, and I have a piece to go somewhere else. But I know, see, the problem is sometimes you buy Pumila, and when it grows up, it's only that height. It's not Pumila at all. So you're never 100% certain, but I know that's. And another thing, we had a very bad storm, a really bad storm. And look at the Pampas, the big tall Sunningdale silver, not a bother on it. So that's one that will survive a 1 in 50 year storm. But the funny thing about that one, as I mentioned before, for 2 years after we had it when the strong wind came, all the plumes blew down because it was too rich. But it's tightened up now, so you have to give it a few years. Oh, look at this here. What's the willow? It's called Mount Aso, I think. Any piece pulled off that and stuck in the ground will root, 100%. It's just a nice reminder of spring and what's to come. Jobs to do here. That was just cleared up this morning. We're going to remove a few lower branches from the cedar, and that holly is getting too fat. So we're going to see, can we make it a bit narrower? See, at this time of the year, it's the evergreen plants that come into their own. Now we'd see, I think, it's not working very well. We go around the back, see what the problem is. Look what's happened. It's suckered. Now what do we do? Do we remove those suckers and just have the main plant here? Or do we leave everything alone? What do we do? It's an interesting question. But we put if you want to be a good gardener, the most important few words you can say is, I don't know. If you never say, I don't know, you'll never be a good gardener. So, I don't know. Yeah, we'll remove it. We'll remove them. Because the more you learn about plants, the more you realize how much you don't know. We'll have a look. What a mess. And we take this one out. We might as well. We go to we'll in for a penny, in for a pound. Now, I forgot to mention, when you're using the long handle chainsaw, they're safer, but you have to wear eye protection. No, I don't have eye protection, and a piece just hit me there. You have to wear eye protection. Whatever it is about it, stuff flies back at you. Now, I don't know, did I go wrong? Did I go wrong? What we do now is we'll... See, I wanted kind of like that holly there. The Argentea Marginata. that's come out too far as well, look. That's the kind of way I want it. See, I want that nice polymer look. Anyway. See what it look like from this side. You go over here, have a look. If you look from here, you can see what I'm trying to do. That's it, more or less. That's gonna work out okay. That's gonna be nice narrow holly. Now, you know, hollies are very clever. Didn't realize it. Don't know how do you realize this. When hollies have that's a thornless one called Lawsoniana, but they usually have thorns to stop them being eaten. But the holly figured out that thorns use energy to be made. The spines, they use energy. So the bottom of the holly, big holly tree, the bottom will be thorny, be spiny to stop the animals eating them. And go to the top. There's no spines on them because they don't need them. And dinosaurs are long gone. That's that. So we move on. Did I mention the Centuria over there? Did I?
No.
Oh, damn. Now we're going to cut back we're going to cut back. It'll give us this as well, and this. Butterfly bush, and you can see last year where it was cut back. So, once again, always look, see, you can see the stumps. That was where it was cut back, and you can see how well it has grown. So you know that will do well from being cut hard back. This one wasn't cut hard back for a few years. And you can see about 5 years, you can see a good few years ago it was cut back to that level. So we're going to bring it back to about here. And if you're using one of these, that's the cutting part. That's always on top. It's never on the bottom, because what happens is the branch breaks this way and that goes in. If you do it that way, it's closing the gap. So you always cut this part on top. And once a year, get your sharpening stone out. Around this time of the year is always a good time to do it. It's a good expensive Velcro sharpening stone. Probably better off doing it on a workbench. But it's important. We'd see, there's a good thick one here. Probably no, I think from that size on it's the saw. So anyway, that's for most jobs, that, this secateurs and the clippers. And as I said before, with the clippers, you do that and you get the momentum going and it's easy. That. And that's, I was watching a gardening program on the telly, and there was a well-known gardener on the telly, and he was cutting like that. And I knew he never, like me, spent weeks in the rain and the wind and the snow cutting hedges. And once again, once a year, the man doesn't come around anymore to sharpen people's tools. A few times a year, it's no harm. Give that a sharpen. But then you have boys with their toys. I won't finish it off because, as I said earlier on, you really need to wear glasses or some type of, because they do fly back at you, and it's, if you get that in your eye, it's terrible because it's really painful for an hour and then 10 hours queuing up in the hospital to get seen to. You know, the 10 hours queuing is obviously the worst, but so that's, I think that's done deliberately, make you queue up for so long so you behave yourself better. So that's that. I don't like leaving power tools around even for a second unattended in case kids come around. So we'll go around here and we'll just finish off with the bamboo. Oh look, just before the bamboo, as I have this, no, I'm not using it, I won't use it, just leave it here. Take the battery out. No, we're going to do a little job on a bamboo and that will finish it. I need to get my mat axe. Just look at this here. This is the Cotinus Grace, and you can see how strongly it grows. Like, that's a year's growth. That was cut back there, and that's a year's growth. So we're going to cut the whole lot back to here and do it before it comes into leaf. Not that it matters that much, because it's the type of plant that will overcome being cut in leaf, but just that when you cut it at this time of the year, you can see what you're doing, because the leaves, there's no leaves to obscure branches. So that needs to be cut back. Now, what would happen if you didn't cut it back? Maybe leave it alone this year and see what happens. We had a bad storm, and we ended up removing a load of birch, and one birch came down and hit that. But we were very lucky. About 2 weeks before the storm, we had a dodgy eucalyptus, and I I hired out a hydraulic platform and we went up high and we cut it out. And I was him and Han. I said, "Oh, was I being too cautious?" And we would have lost half of one of our tunnels if I didn't. So, if in doubt, take it out. Those the black bamboo, they want to come out. Those branches. That's Madam Briot holly. That's the one I showed you how to get a single leader on. It's got 1 leader. That wants to be tightened up. But we're finishing over here. Hellebores. Is that nice? I think it's Penny's Pink. And they need to be minded, all the dead leaves and trash removed from around them, because they like the circulation, otherwise they can get leaf blotch. So they just need a little bit of work. And there's winter moonbeam. Just a little bit under pressure. It's not brilliant this year. Oh, what's this one here? Yeah, that's another one of the types that you need to go through and remove the leaves. You don't like it. That's a job to be done. Unlike the Northern European ones. These ones here. They're the common Hellebores, orientalis, or whatever they call them now. They tolerate much more woodland conditions. And what a lot of people do with them is in the autumn time they remove all the foliage, and then you get what's called naked flowers in the spring with no foliage to obscure them. I didn't bother. Finishing off here, this is called bamboo called Phyllostachys vivax Aureocaulis. And vivax is the species, and Aureocaulis means golden stem. Now, see what it's done? It's thrown up some green stems. I actually think they're nicer. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a look. Remove one. See how hard it is. There's a green one. That's kind of a 50-50 green one. I don't believe it. Go. It's handy enough. What you do, throw that away. That's old-fashioned recycling. What we're gonna, I don't know whether we got anything. We'll stick that in a pot, and what we're interested in, we're not interested in what happens there. That's only a tiny bit there, take the pressure off the roots. What we're interested in, see will it form another root. But what we do is, well, not me, I'll get Jana to remove some of the bigger ones, maybe get more root, but I want the clump of this green stemmed. And that's how most really good plants that we have in our gardens, there's people walking along. Not people in labs and stuff and, you know, hybridizing stuff. They're just walking along, and maybe a dog with a walk, and he's oh, that's a bit different. How about you think? And up they dig it, and that becomes the new plant. And anybody watching this, when you're going around, you might see something a bit different, and maybe knock on the door and ask the neighbour, could you have a little piece? Never do sneaky. And that could be a new plant, and that's how a lot of our new plants arrive.